Okay, today I'm turn on the recorder. We're talking to Dale Billis of Liberty Health Share. We're going to talk about expanding our comfort zone. What do you have to say about that? Okay, so let's fasten our seatbelts. We're going to learn and grow together. I hope everybody's dancing out there. Dale, come on.
All right.
Does anybody else make you dance?
When I do, my family cringes.
I don't. I think it's great. Send us some love. For those of you who are out there, I'd love to know where you're from.
Need a
Here
friend.
we go.
The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening friends. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who have been tuning in to the show for the last 7.5 years, or maybe you just tuned in yesterday for the first time, welcome back. But if this is the first time that you've stumbled upon the show, which is a lot of people just stumble upon the show, then just know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as our viewing friends on Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, we are all very comfortable in our routines, in our habits, and sometimes because of our comfort, we miss out on opportunities. How many times has that happened to you where you look back and you say, man, I should have grabbed it. I should have tried out for that. I could have been a contender. Whatever it is that you wish you could have done. But why do we live in this kind of shaming? Why do we live in this kind of couldas and shouldas? Well, life can be filled with anxiety if you're looking at it as, okay, I'm anxious about doing this. But what if we were to look at making our comfort zone a little bit bigger, a little bit wider? Because we don't know what we don't know. And if you haven't tried something, how do you know you wouldn't be good at it? How do you know that this isn't made for you? So instead of using the word anxiety, oh, that would just make me scared or fearful, whatever words that are diminishing your spirit, what if we looked at it as different and new? How many opportunities would you go towards if it was different and new as opposed to scary or fearful? Well, today we're going to talk about steps we can take to step outside our comfort zone. But here's the thing. I've talked about this so many times, and Liberty Health Share comes on twice a month, and I wish they'd come on more because I love the perspective. Talk about stepping outside our comfort zone. And I've said this to Dale before, and I've shared it with all of you, that sometimes, every time, life begins outside of our comfort zone. And so I'm excited because we get to do something different and new today that we used to do before. And now it's something different because we used to do now different. I don't know how you want to put that in, but it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge. And I'm grateful that we're starting off the show, not only talking about our comfort zone and stepping outside our comfort zone, but that Dale Billis is going to help us see some of the things that Liberty Health Share is doing, or how different and new it is to step out of insurance and walk into health share. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I'm grateful that Dale Billis of Liberty Health Share is here to do just that. Welcome, Dale, to the Lillian McDermott radio show.
Oh, thank you, Lillian. It's always a pleasure to be with you, and thanks for the invitation this morning.
Open invitation. So let's talk about when I made a decision to look at health share. I really had to step outside my comfort zone because we've been programmed to feel that if we don't have insurance, we're going to be lost. So first of all, share a little bit about your vision with Liberty Health Share. And do you get a lot of, I was scared to step into trying something new and different with Liberty Health Share?
Well, we really do, frankly, because it is a paradigm shift. You see, for generations, we've been told the only way to meet healthcare costs is through insurance. And really, the advent of the modern insurance movement was right after World War II. And so for the past 70, 80 plus years, that's been the primary methodology for paying for healthcare costs. And so health insurance has gained a level of acceptance, of understanding, kind of penetrating our thinking regarding meeting healthcare costs. But along with that has been a long time tradition that's existed in our nation literally for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's healthcare sharing. It's mutual aid. And in fact, I would suggest to you, Lillian, that it's really the way healthcare costs were paid for before the advent of modern insurance.
Yes.
It was community-based. If you and I lived 100 years ago and had a medical expense, it was our neighbors, the community, our local church. Those would surround us with care and support, help raise the money to pay that bill, would be there for the family. We've simply continued that tradition alongside of this other methodology called health insurance.
Awesome. Awesome. And we're going to continue our conversation on radio and on Facebook Live at Lillian's Radio Show when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. We got down to the last second. I hope I made it, Andre. Okay, for those of you who are watching, stepping outside your comfort zone, I want to talk about different times. And Dale, with you, starting Liberty Health Share, what did you do, if you don't mind me asking, because I don't know the answer to this, what did you do prior to starting Liberty Health Share?
Yeah, I've been a healthcare administrator for 30 years. I had my own company called a third-party administrator where I administered healthcare plans primarily for employers who would, what's called self-funding, put their own funds and make them available to pay for healthcare costs for their employees. And so I would, and they weren't healthcare experts, so they would hire someone to administer their self-funded plan. And that's what I did for a couple of decades or more. And so that's what I was doing at the time of the launch of Liberty Health Share. And it was because of my observation regarding the flaws of the health insurance model that led me to launch Liberty Health Share to address really two big issues, Lillian. And this really addresses this paradigm shift, this mindset change, this move outside of the ordinary comfort zone. Because when you suddenly experience a drop in return of benefit in doing something the same way you've always done it, that's what opens the opportunity for change.
Yes, yes.
And so the big two primary issues is what I refer to as the third-party pay system, where literally you send your money away to someone else, an insurance company, an employer, the government, and they pay for your healthcare costs.
Yeah. And
the downside of that is you give up autonomy, choice. Suddenly they're making decisions about your healthcare apart from you. And secondly, it's their money at stake, not yours.
Yeah. And so for those of you who are watching on Facebook Live, you're in for a treat because this is a great way to save money and step outside your comfort zone. Here we go.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always grow and learn together. And today we're talking about stepping outside our comfort zone. And during this time, our sponsor, Liberty Health Share, is going to share a little bit about what they are doing and how they're helping people step outside their comfort zone. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, it was very uncomfortable for me to make this decision because I've been indoctrinated to believe that the only way is with insurance. And the reality was, when I lost my insurance, and Dale, I don't know if you remember this, or I don't know if I told you the story, and thank you so much for being on this morning. We were paying $1,200 to Cobra because I stopped working for this company, and I was able to continue my Cobra through them. And I did not know that they had filed bankruptcy.
Wow.
And so I was paying Cobra and $1,200 a month, but I didn't have any insurance because they weren't paying Cobra, and or they weren't keeping up their end of the deal. I don't know how it worked out, but I found myself without insurance. And during that time is when I found Liberty Health Share. And so I found out that there was like this underground movement that if I was self-pay, or if I was this, or, there was a different pricing. And now I find myself that I'm negotiating. I'm looking for better pricing for my own health insurance, or for my testing and going to the doctor. And now I'm negotiating my own bill, until I met Liberty Health Share. And I thought, wow, if anything happens to me, to not have the insurance, a day in the hospital could put someone into bankruptcy. When I found out Liberty Health Share, and by the way, you can go to libertyhealthshare.org to learn more. You can go to whenyounneedafriend.com. You can click on their sponsorship logo, or you can go to 855-58-LIBERTY. That's 855-585-4237. So when I finally learned about it, I'm like, oh my God, this is too good to be true. But then I thought, what other option do I have? Because I couldn't continue paying $1,200 when I knew I could pay, at the time it was $199 or something like that. And that was 3 years ago. And so I said, well, it can't be worse than what I have now. That was my mentality back then. But when I started experiencing Liberty Health Share and thinking, wow, now let's talk about what you guys are doing and how do you overcome the obstacle of tearing somebody away from insurance. For me, it was a natural progression because I didn't have insurance at that time.
Well, the first thing that catches people's attention every time, Lillian, is the cost difference. Seeing that it's folks who are coming to the awareness of the diminishing returns of doing the same thing the same way. And when folks are confronted with the financial pain, as you were, $1,200 for an individual.
Well, actually, it was for the two of us. But what happened was my husband got a job during that time, and to add me was going to be $500.
And again, the financial strain. I talked to couples who are spending $2,500 a month on a healthcare insurance plan for themselves. That's what catches people's attention first. And they're asking the question you asked, how can this be? How is it possible is this too good to be true? And they begin to investigate, ask questions, inquire, discover how it is we keep costs low, and we can go into that. But the reality is that's what catches people's attention first, that forces them to think about options and opportunities and alternatives. The second is because our methodology is we share each other's medical costs. Your money, my money, every member's money gets matched to another person every month who has a medical expense. And you see your dollars flow from your account to theirs. You can message them with cheer, with encouragement, with prayer. We send the check out of the receiving member's account to the doctors and hospitals. We're following that methodology and paying each other's bills to the extent of $35 million every month. When a person suddenly discovers their dollars are going to another person, assisting and helping another living, breathing individual, that sense of community, of connection, of engagement with one another, that's what seals the deal. That's what cements participation, because it brings such a level of significance, of value, of worth, knowing my money is going to another person. And then should I have bills, that same group is there to pay my costs.
That's right. And so we have a question from Karen who wants to know, and I think that this is, again, stepping outside of a comfort zone. What we don't know, we don't know. And until you experience it, you think this is too good to be true. But the reality is that it is real, or else I wouldn't have reached out to Liberty Health Share to say, hey, will you sponsor my show? Because I really love you. And so Karen wants to know, does Liberty Health Share cover pre-existing conditions? Let's talk about that.
Perfect question.
Yes, thank you, Karen.
But the mechanism, let me do the comparison for a moment, the contrast. In the Affordable Care Act world, the way in which pre-existing conditions are addressed is through the open enrollment period. That is, you can only buy insurance during this little narrow window at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So folks can join us any month in the course of the year. We're not subject to that open enrollment calendar. So any month you decide, you can join us. And so our mechanism is twofold. Mm-hmm. The first is, when you join us, if there are pre-existing conditions, they're not eligible to be paid by the members in the first year. Second year and following, we pick up on it, phase it in, it soon no longer becomes pre-existing. But the second, that really I'm the most proud of, frankly, is the vast majority of pre-existing conditions presented to us are lifestyle-based decisions, or diseases, I should say. Mm-hmm. Lifestyle-based diseases. And you know about those, yes, Lillian. High blood pressure, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, certainly mm-hmm. obesity, smoking, cholesterol. If we change the way we eat and live and exercise and sleep and et cetera, we're going to impact those conditions dramatically. And so we welcome folks with those conditions to come join us, so long as they enroll with what we call our Health Track program. Mm-hmm. We assign them a health coach. It costs an additional $80 a month. They make adjustments to their lifestyle to impact those conditions. They reach their goals and objectives. They graduate from the program. We celebrate their successes. But we're seeing people's lives transform, and we participate with those pre-existing costs because we know if they take responsibility for the care of their health, it'll affect them positively. And we see it happen all day, every day.
Okay, so thank you, Karen, for that question. I'm always so excited as you start revealing more and more about Liberty Health Share, I think, why wouldn't we want to step outside our comfort zone and try something new? And it's fear. It's fear that keeps us outside of our comfort zone. Yeah. So one of the things that drew me, and by the way, you think of companies that have employees. Would they be able to work with Liberty Health Share as an employer to offer Liberty Health Share or Health Share to their employees?
Under the current structure of things, there are some particular regulatory requirements, depending on the size of the company and the circumstances, that need to be navigated. So we encourage folks, if they have a small business, company, employees they're concerned about, give us a call. We'll walk them through that process and methodology. But in a nutshell, for a small business, it's simply a matter of providing as a bonus, as a stipend to those employees, the dollars necessary for them to make their own choices and decisions.
Yes.
That's number one.
Yes. And
if you're a large employer, there's another level or layer that you need to address regarding the employer mandate. And we've got methodologies to accomplish that.
Very good. Very good. And again, we're talking to Del Billis. He's the founder and chairman of Liberty Health Share. And for those of you who want to learn more, you can go to whenyounneedafriend.com. And you've heard that all this time. You can click onto the logo for Liberty Health Share, or you can go to libertyhealthshare.org to learn more. And you can also call them at 855-58-LIBERTY. That's 855-58-LIBERTY. I was reaching out for this. So I've been holding on to this since December, and I forgot. Every time I forget. But I received a card from I received a card from Liberty Health Share for Christmas from the person who's been taking care of me. And so I just think that these little personal touches is what it exudes Dale Billis. And I know that you love encouragement, you love affirmations, but here's what we love. We love saving money. And even if people have a pre-existing condition, depending on what that is, it probably is cheaper to go in without having that pre-existing condition for the first year or so than not getting insurance and then having this high copay and having all this high deductibles and high all this stuff.
May I tell you a quick story about that for a moment?
Yeah.
A young couple, Trip and Jen, they live in Northern Virginia, were spending $2,700 a month for their family. They had a pre-existing condition with one of their children. It was costing them $700 a month for that treatment. So they would have to spend that $700 in the first year. And so their cost dropped from $2,700 to $529, and they were happy to spend that $700 because of the cost savings, 50% of what they were otherwise spending, even incorporating that first year cost every month, $700. They're paying it private pay right out of their pockets, getting the discounts as much as they can from those providers that will then phase into no longer pre-existing after the first year. That's an example of what you just said. And it happens all day, every day. They just step out of your comfort zone, evaluate the options and choices, opportunities that you have.
And this is the other thing. For those of you who think, okay, people are just spending money, putting money in this account or that account, we're talking about a very organized. For 30 years, Liberty Health Share has been around, or over 30 years, Liberty Health Share has been around, and it's $1 million per incident. And that's what got me. I wanted to make sure that if it was an accident or I needed to go to the hospital or something, because a day in the hospital, you just never know. You could fall, bump, anything could happen, that I would be taken care of. And it was something that, again, I had to get out of my comfort zone. I thought, well, how appropriate that Liberty Health Share is coming on today, because that was a feeling I experienced. And if I would have said no to the fear, or yes to the fear and no to the opportunity. So I said yes to the opportunity and no to the fear, and was able to now going on 3 years with Liberty Health Share. And I am so grateful, Dale, for your insight to say, you know what, let's take our health care back. And this is how we do it. So thank you so much, Dale, for being on.
What a pleasure. Thank you so much for the chance to be with you, Lillian. And your advocacy of these principles means so much.
Thank you very much, Dale. And for those of you who want to learn more about Liberty Health Share, you can go to libertyhealthshare.org. That's libertyhealthshare.org. That's 855-58-LIBERTY. That's 855-585-4237, or you can just click on the little button at whenyouneedafriend.com. And we're going to continue our conversation off the air at Lillian's radio show on facebook.com or at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Great job, Dale. Okay,
well,
there's something I want to say real quick before you go.
Sure.
I know you have to go,
yes.
but I want to say, talk about real quick how once you meet your unshared amount, how you guys pay 100%. That was like such a, So an unshared amount is equal to a deductible.
Yes, every year our members, if they have medical expenses themselves, have an out-of-pocket expense that they meet first. And we call it an annual unshared amount. So there's no co-pays, no co-insurance, but it's the amount that we've agreed that we take responsibility for out of our resources and pockets before the members start sharing it. So it's $1,000 for an individual, $1,750 for a couple, $2,250 for a family. So you fill that bucket up first in the course of the membership year. So if your membership starts in July all the way through June 30 of the next year, you're responsible for that amount. You go to the doctor, you have a $300 expense. It applies to that bucket, annual unshared amount. Once you exceed that or hit that, then every incident after that, members share up to $1 million. Let me just use a heart attack as a example. I'm a family. I'm responsible for the first $2,250 in the course of our membership year. I had a heart attack. All the doctor visits, the hospital stays, the emergency room, the surgeries, the recovery, the medications associated with that particular diagnosis up to $1 million. I would be responsible for the first 2,250.
That's it.
Members then would participate up to $1 million.
Yes. Per incident.
If I had kidney stones the next day, I've already met my annual unshared amount, another $1 million up to for that particular condition. Yeah. Broken arm, the third day, boy, I'm having a bad week.
I was say I don't want to be near that person.
Yeah, but another $1 million.
Yeah.
And that's proven to be more than adequate for our members' medical expenses.
Very good. Very good. And was it uncomfortable for you to step out of your comfort zone? Did you, when you decided to walk away from what you were doing and you felt comfortable and you were good at as a hospital administrator to start Liberty HealthShare, did you go through some uncomfortable feelings?
A great deal of anxiety.
Were you fearful?
Pardon me?
Were you fearful?
I was fearful because I shut down my entire business to do Liberty HealthShare. I felt passionate about it. I felt driven. I felt a calling that this was what needed to be done. And folks around me questioned my sanity at times. If I had not had the full-throated support of my wife and my family, I probably would have faltered along the way. Yeah. But that gave me such encouragement and persisted and pursued that vision and dream. We launched in August of 2013 with our first member, Lillian. Mm-hmm. Today, we have 240,000 members.
Wow.
So it's just grown like a prairie grass fire.
Wow.
But boy, in those early launch years, it was a little frightening.
Very good. Very good. So for those of you, if you are single, it's $300 or $299. A couple, so that's two, that's $399. And for a family, it's $529. So for those of you who are looking at what you're paying now for your family or for your spouse, or take that all into consideration before you make your next and step outside the comfort zone and try something new or different. And thank you so much, Dale, for always bringing your wonderful booming voice and incredible heart into the show. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That means a great deal. God bless.
Take care. Okay, so you heard it. That's Liberty HealthShare, 855-58-LIBERTY. That's 855-585-4237. And so that is exactly what we are talking about today. We are talking about stepping outside our comfort zone. How many of you who are watching on Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show feel, oh my gosh, this is kind of a crazy thing to do? Tell me where you're from. I'd love to hear from you, and send me some love. I'm loving the likes and the loves. Thank you.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where you can hear us worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. I am your host, Lillian McDermott, and it is my goal that we learn from each other, go through life with childlike wonder, so that we can be curious about something as opposed to critical, which I think is our downfall today, is that we are too quick to jump with criticism. But if we look at it as something that you want to discover, something that is new and different, as opposed to, I don't want to look at it because I don't want the feelings that come from that. I am afraid of. But fear, I changed fear to an acronym, to follow every avenue required. Fear, follow every avenue required to live the life that you desire. What do you desire? Does it require you to step out your comfort zone? So later on, we're going to do another show and on Facebook Live, and we're going to talk about, stepping outside your comfort zone and stepping towards what it is that you want, the life that you want. So, but today we're talking about how to step away from our comfort zone. And so I want to encourage you to, as we continue this conversation, as Dale said, the show is about 100% responsibility, which is what Liberty HealthShare also focuses on. So with 100% responsibility, I'm asking, if you have not yet, then why not? Why not have you become a member at whenyouneedafriend.com? If you want to become a member and you say you're going to do it later might not happen. We only have now, so text me now at 407-373-5959 if you don't have time, and I will do it for you. But you need to confirm that you want to be a member at whenyouneedafriend.com. You get the podcast when you become a subscriber at whenyouneedafriend.com. And then there's also little buttons that you can click on, like my social media. Facebook, you need to follow me and like me on facebook.com/Lillian's Radio Show, where you can see the broadcast live on Facebook. Or you can, maybe you like YouTube later on, and you can subscribe there too. You could click on that, subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you get the on and off the air conversations as well. There's so many different ways, and you get lots of free gifts. I mean, we just gave away tickets to the show for John Edward, which was wonderful. And so people got that's $200 worth of free gifts. And we also are going to be we're going to be doing a water fast soon, and we're going to be giving a Zip. We're going to be giving a Zip water purifier, which is reverse osmosis, over the counter reverse osmosis, that you don't have to plug into your faucets or anything to that effect. And I've been working with them, and they're going to be giving a unit away. That's a $500 value. So you want to know what's happening on the show so that you too can win. This is all win-win. We all win. And so I ask that you look at these sponsors, because without the sponsors, there would be no show. So check my sponsors out in my sponsorship page and figure out ways you can support them, just like Liberty Health Share, the way they're supporting us. And so if you don't like social media and you don't like YouTube and you're a podcast kind of person, you can find me at all the different podcasts: iTunes, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn. There's so many different ways we can stay together. Did I say iHeartRadio? Okay, so there's all so many different ways. So today we're talking about stepping outside your comfort zone. Talk about, and when I say this, and I truly mean this, and I'm probably going to get a lot of ha-ha-has, you're really funny, but for those of you who don't know me, I'm very, very shy. I'm very shy. For me to do a camera interview, for me to do anything where I'm looking at the camera, to me, it reveals the shyness in me, of the ugliness in me, or whatever it was that I thought about myself in my journey. These thoughts of, I am not enough, they came through because at the age of 7, I was told I was not enough by my second grade teacher, that I would never amount to much. How many of us, how many of you have gone through this in life, where you're carrying around this child that was not enough? Maybe you're hearing the words of your teacher or your parent or a grandparent or a mentor who said, you know, you're not good enough. You'll never do this. Now, there are two reactions. One of them is love, and the other one is fear. So let's talk about the fearful reaction to you're not enough. You don't want to be found out. You want to pretend like you're enough and act like you're enough, but deep down inside, you might not feel you're enough. That's the fearful response. And then the love response would be, I know I am enough, and I am going to work and do everything I possibly can to achieve the life that I want. But sometimes, even when you're doing this in love, and you know that you're doing this in love, sometimes there's a little voice in your head remembering that it was planted in you that you weren't enough. And now you don't want that exposure. So there's still a little bit of fear underneath it. So I'm asking you to sit with, what is it that is keeping me from the life that I desire? Is there anything that comes to mind right now? So I want to encourage you that in the quiet of your life, where there's no phone. To me, that quiet of my life, my sanctuary is my bathroom. So for all you people that say, I don't have time, when you're going to the bathroom, which everybody has to go to the bathroom every day, make that your sanctuary. Make that the time you meditate. Make that the time that you think about your dreams, that you journal. Make that the time. I'm just giving you a suggestion. You can make it whatever time you want. But for those of you that I've coached or that have said to me, I don't have time, make your bathroom your time. My children knew, it was a knowing inside of me that when mommy's in the bathroom, you do not interrupt unless you're coughing up a lung. But if you still have one lung left, wait until the other one comes out, because that's when you interrupt me. So if you have that parameter, then that is where you use your time to really sit and reflect. Where was the first time I felt this feeling? That tiny little hole that you know is in your soul, that someone planted in you, and that maybe that little hole you use with alcohol or smoking, or any time you need something outside of you to relieve it. That means there's something you just need to sit with. Just sit with it and say, why am I not achieving what I want? Maybe write down those dreams of yours. If and again, we're going to be talking about this later on, so you can join me on Facebook Live. We're going to do a pre-record, and people can join us on Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show. And these shows now are being aired at different times during our regular broadcast in Jacksonville and all other areas that the show is broadcast. And so, what is it that you're so afraid of that is keeping you from the life that you want? And if I could sprinkle, and be honest with yourself, if I could sprinkle pixie dust on you, which I do have that power, by the way, if I could sprinkle pixie dust and I could say, whatever you wish right now, you will get. And I sprinkle this dust over you, what would come up to your heart? Is it your health? Is it your job? Is it a relationship? What is it that comes up knowing that you will be successful at the sprinkling of pixie dust that I will throw upon you, that I will send through the airways, through Facebook, through YouTube, through whatever podcast you're listening to right now? What is that? And then the question I want you to ask is, why don't I have it? And then I want you to write down all the different excuses. All the different reasons why you don't have it. Write it down and look at it and do it anyway. Do it anyway. So what do? We take nothing for granted. We need to continue to focus on what it is that we want, not what we don't have. That's lack mentality. And of course, I've got the acronym for lack, but I'm not going to share it right now. You have to listen to some of my shows. It's more of the fact mentality. Focus on what you want. Be aware of what you want and what needs to be done to achieve it. Consider and be celebrant of all your accomplishments. And then, just trust the process. Trust the process that'll get you there. I didn't set out to have a radio show, and I certainly didn't set out to be looked at on Facebook Live. That was not my goal. My goal was to be yes to the world, to say yes to opportunity, to be curious about what I could do. And I can do anything because the creator who created me gave me the power to create. And so we're going to continue diving into what is it that we want today to step out of our comfort zone. And we're going to continue our conversation worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. Join us at Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show, and we'll be right here waiting for you. Okay, those of you who are watching on Facebook Live, What is your dream? Where are you listening from? Because I can't see you unless you make a comment. I don't know that you're there unless you're sharing love. If you're liking what you're hearing, I want to encourage you to share, like, with your friends. This is how I get paid. Really, honestly, this is how I get paid. These are the affirmations that make me say, you know what? This is fuel for my gas tank. This is where I say, is anybody listening to me? Does anybody get what I'm saying? Am I doing this for myself? Am I just hoarding all this information that I'm getting from the Del Billises of this world, the Dr. Furmans of this world? Let me talk about Keep Me Safe Organics. For those of you who like my makeup or my skin, I'm having a bit of a reaction because I just tried papaya after a long time, and my skin has really, really rough compared to what it's normally. But Keep Me Safe Organics, if you go into whenyouneedafriend.com and you click on that logo, everything is organic, nothing is synthetic, and my skin has looked the best it's ever looked. I have melasma on my skin. That's getting clearer. So there's so many different ways that, instead of putting toxins on our body, the toxicity is coming out of my body. And so I'm seeing some different changes as well. So click on at whenyouneedafriend.com, Keep Me Safe. You get 10% off if you enter code Lily10. And then First Alternative Care, which is my other Facebook Live sponsor. And what they do is telemedicine for $35 a month per household. That's 24/7 medical care and dermatology 24/7. So I'm going to be calling because I'm having a rash from this papaya that I ate. And I mean, I'm just, it feels really rough. My skin feels really rough right now for my skin and how it's been feeling since I started Keep Me Safe Organics. But First Alternative Care, it's 24/7, $35 a month per household. So that if that means that a household, and Andre, keep me honest on the time. Per household means that if you have a grandmother, a bunch of people living in your house, like when my grandson came over, they'll see him if he's in my household. And if I'm a college student, I have 3 people living with me. All 3 of us share that $35 a month. And they also do 3 hours a year per household of mental or behavioral health counseling. That's First Alternative Care. You can go to whenyouneedafriend.com, click on that as well so that you can learn more. So many different things. Step out of your comfort zone. Try it, consider it, and see what happens. I put my name behind it, and I'm really excited. Here we go. This is our last, Andre, this is our last segment, right? I'll be right here waiting for you. Thank you. I'm glad you're listening.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn from one another. Earlier today, we had Del Billis from Liberty HealthShare. I want to encourage you to go to libertyhealthshare.org, or you can go to whenyouneedafriend.com and click on the logo. Either way, I am a member of Liberty HealthShare. I reached out to them and was so excited when they became a sponsor. And we're lining up some new sponsors. I'm really excited about that as well. These are like-minded doctors that subscribe to this functional, holistic, alternative. And so I'm excited about that, but to be continued. So we're talking about today about stepping outside our comfort zone. Stepping outside our comfort zone and steps to create that. How to expand our comfort zone. I remember a long time ago, my husband and I read a book called The Prayer of Jabez. The Prayer of Jabez was a prayer that we said every night. And there was a little section that it would say, expand my comfort zone. Boy, did our comfort zone get expanded. And if you're fearful of it, it could be scary. But if you focus on and trusting the process that this whatever you think is bad, excuse me, whatever you think is bad, may be the best moment of your life. Teachable moments. We have gone, my husband and I, by myself, I've gone through some things that I would probably not wish on my worst enemy. But because I looked at it in a different way, as an opportunity to grow more, to learn more, to figure out something different and new, then I was able to move past my fears. So I ask you the question, and I asked it earlier, what would you want to do? But being comfortable in your comfort zone is keeping you from a life that somebody else is living. Maybe, you're saying, why does everybody have this and why everybody have that? That's part of the lack-minded thinking, and the C is complaining. And so the L is lamenting. I said I was going to talk about it, but L is lamenting, A is anxiety, C is complaining, and K is for killjoy. When you are thinking lack, there's anxiety, there's fear. But what about abundance? What about fact? So there is that fact is focus on what you want. Focus on what you want, not the lack of what you don't have. So I wanted to climb a mountain not long ago. And my idea of roughing it prior to that was Holiday Inn. Nothing against Holiday Inn, but it's just a saying that I make. I've never gone camping, staying the night, and certainly never had to go to the bathroom in the woods. And I was very proud of the fact I even have a video that has had lots of hits, Lillian McDermott, peeing in the woods. So for those dirty minds that thought that you're going to see me peeing in the woods, get out of that. But that was a big hit, and it was just sharing insights of really stepping outside my comfort zone and being in the woods. So if that means like that's nothing big, but for me, that was huge. So you face your fears and you follow every avenue required to live the life that you desire. I didn't start at the top of the mountain, because that would have put me in anxiety mode. I started searching for some boots. That's where I started. I took one step at a time, and I've written many articles about this experience when I went on my backpacking in California, and it was just an exciting time. But I could have said no to it, but I said yes, and I figured it out. I took one step at a time. So what are the steps that you must take to achieve that mountaintop experience? And every day I did something new. The second step was, getting a backpack, or maybe walking on the treadmill with these boots. Inclining, the next time it was like inclining the treadmill. There were so many different things that I did. And I gave up this control of looking good, of the fear, of staying comfortable. And I will say, there are people that get beaten every night, and that is their comfort zone. There are people who drink a bottle of alcohol every night, and that is their comfort zone. So I want to encourage you to say, what can I do to step out of what I don't want, because I'm just complaining about all the terrible things that are happening in my life, and all I need to do is shift my thinking. What is it that you want? If I could sprinkle pixie dust in your life right now, and you knew you'd be successful. That's the difference. Focus on what you want. Feel it. I could feel myself at the top of the mountain, even when I was looking for shoes. I felt myself on the top of the mountain. And I knew I had to do this. I sat down and wrote down everything I needed to do before I stepped foot in the airport. And then what did I need to do once I got out of the airport? And I thought of food that I needed to take because I have food allergies. I thought of different snacks I could have because I love to eat. So all those different things. But it required me to follow every avenue required. And I did it. And now if somebody were to invite me to go hiking, or if somebody would invite me to do something that I feel uncomfortable, I would say yes. I would have to weigh the risks. I would have to weigh, don't ask me to bungee jump with a frayed cord. I'm not going to do that because I'm still very smart. So there are certain things. And then have conversations with experts. Talk to people about how they're doing it. Look at people that you admire, not are jealous of. Look at that as jealousy is lack-minded. Admiring is fact. So where is it that you want to step out of your comfort zone? Again, sit quietly with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Examine that little hole of what you've wanted to be your entire life. And then answer, what's keeping me from this? Write it down. Write it down. And right next to it, then write down what you could do to overcome that fear. What's the worst case scenario? You fail? So what? You figured out a new way to not do something. Wow. That's how Thomas Edison did it. That's how people, the Wright brothers did it. That's how everybody who has failed, they use that failure as fuel to passion, to create passion, not poison. So I hope that our conversation today, whether it was joining Liberty Health Share, or it was, going to a club by yourself, or, dating somebody that you thought would never like you, or maybe attracting somebody, whatever it is. Maybe it's joining our Heal Tribe. Maybe it's joining our Heal Tribe. You never know what it is. Maybe you are an introvert and you don't like people around you. Join the Heal Tribe. Talking to you, you know who I'm talking to. So it's time. It's time to go outside. Do something different today. Be grateful for everything, good, bad, and ugly today. And then do it tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and see what happens. So what is it that you want? And follow every avenue required to live the life that you desire. Simple, huh? Why does it sound so complicated? Because we make it that. We make it that. And so it's time. It's time to say, I am worthy. I am worthy. Because if you desire it, it belongs to you. Make sure that desire comes from purity. That desire comes from honesty and not greed and envy. Make sure that desire is to fuel your body, not to poison it. And please remember, you can tune in on Facebook Live. You can tune in on podcast and YouTube and the radio, because we're in all places. I'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day, say it with me, ever. Okay, I knew you could say it. So for those of you who are watching today on Facebook, come out from wherever you are. I know that you're there. I know that there are views. I just don't know who you are. And when you send me a love or like, or you share this broadcast, it's like payment. It's like a hug. So I'd love for you to be able to do that. Is there anything that you have, any questions for those of you who are listening today or watching today? Do you have any questions for what it is that you want? Now at 10 o'clock today, between 10 and 10:05, depending on how I can prep my guests and get them going, we're going to do a pre-recorded show on Facebook Live, and we're going to continue talking about stepping out of fear and moving towards the life of our dreams, the life we desire. And so what does that mean for you? It might be different for me. I can't give you a pill that says, if you take this pill, your dreams will come true, because then that means my dreams are the same as yours, as the same as yours, as the same as the other person. And so one pill does not fit all. So what do you need to take, which is responsibility? What do you need to take in order to achieve the life that you want? Tune in at 10, around 10:05, I don't know. Like I said, around that time, we're going to start a new broadcast, and we're going to do a Facebook Live. So I hope you join us with United Intentions. And we're going to be talking with Tim Ray and Shannon McVeigh, which she's a cutie for those of guys, because I know 50% of guys watch this show too. Come out, wherever you are. So she's a cutie. And Tim Ray is available. So if you've been looking for an evolved guy, Tim Ray is available. And so there's so many different ways that we can step out of our comfort zone today. I want you to do one thing today that you would never do. Oh, okay. So here we go. Alejandra, gracias. Alejandra Campos. Love your show and your guests. Thank you for all the information you share. Listening from Jacksonville. Yes, Jacksonville. Thank you. Thank you for the love, Alejandra. And thank you for everything, that all the support that I'm getting. Please share this broadcast, like it, make comments, and help the show grow. We are worldwide, so you don't have to limit yourself. And you know, that's another thing. We limit ourselves. I didn't even talk about that. I didn't even touch about that. So we're going to be talking about limitations at 10 o'clock. So I hope you join us. Then on Facebook Live at Lillian's Radio Show. Tell all your friends to join us as well. And so for now, I am going to stop my Facebook Live. Let me stop my recording.